Hi, my name's Dima Amin and I'm a technical analyst with Geosoft. Today we're going to be showing you how you can use GeoSys profile to work with your gravity and magnetic data. The dataset I'll be working with today is from the National Petroleum Reserve in Alaska. This dataset includes publicly available magnetic, gravity, seismic, and well data from the USGS. We'll be going ahead into a live demo of the software where I can show you the GeoSys 2D modeling capabilities. The map we're looking at is a regional map from the NPRA area that we're going to be working with. What you see in white right here is the profile line in which we're going to extract and build a GeoSys profile from. If I take a look and zoom in a little bit onto my area, I can see the white symbol, and those are actually distinguishing where our seismic SYS data was collected. If I move along all the way to the bottom, you can see that they are somewhat parallel to where we're actually going to draw our profile. To the left and right of our SYS line are well logs labeled here in red, CB being an example. The red symbol plots show us the locations of our well logs that we're going to integrate into our 2D plot. GeoSys allows you to extract a 2D profile in a variety of ways. You can create your model by making your data in your database, or extracting a profile from your map. You can even do it for a specific line selected in your database. If we extract from the specific map that we're working with, I can assign the magnetic grid that I want it to look at as well as my gravity data and any topography if I have it. And once I go into the horizons, I can actually specify up to 15 horizons, whether in depth or time. GeoSys profiles should always be started in time if you're hoping to integrate your seismic data, and then they can be converted to your depth profile. If I go ahead and digitize along my profile line and right-click, I can now assign my Earth's magnetic parameters and then take a look at the extracted profile from my map. Now that we're in our GeoSys 2D profile environment, let's take a look at what we've got. In the bottom window is your time window, and right above it is your depth window. As I mentioned, we'll get started in our time window and work our way towards a depth model. In the upper panels, we've got our gravity and magnetics, as well as our plan view of our data. The observed data are your black symbol plots, and the black line along your cursor is your model data, with the red line being the error. The goal of this 2D profile modeling is to match the observed data to your model data as much as possible and minimize the error. I only decided to bring in one horizon in my current model, which you can see in the red line in my time window. I can also change the range to take a look at my larger area and include all variety of different horizons that I can digitize. These specific horizons were digitized actually taking into account the SYS section that was registered as a backdrop in the time section. As you digitize these horizons, you can snap them into your model, and they act as horizons that you can then convert into depth model. If we just take the backdrop away, you can see, zooming in, that I can move any one of these points, which results in a different response. Each block has a specific density, seismic velocity, and magnetic susceptibility that you can assign and build your model and go further into the process. Now that I've got my digitized horizons based on my seismic data, I can easily convert to a depth section by right-clicking and selecting Convert Time to Depth Surfaces. What this will actually do is convert my section from the time window into a depth window that I've got here. I've gone ahead and assigned the specific velocities for the different block units and converted it and done some further interpretation into a depth section. This is what my close to final model looks like. Now that I have my depth model section, I've been able to bring in the seismic interpreted horizons, and I've also gone ahead and interpreted some more highly magnetic components. So for example, in this portion here, I've got my basement that adds a little bit more of a magnetic response, And in this area over here, I also have more of a basement coming through, which indicates this higher magnetic response as well. The different properties that I mentioned earlier for every single block can be assigned as a different color and a different pattern, and of course you want to assign your density and susceptibility in order to generate the appropriate magnetic and gravity response. In the time window, it was important for us to assign the seismic velocity in order for us to be able to convert it to the depth section. Once you've got all your parameters set and your block parameters, not only your colors, but more importantly your gravity and magnetic susceptibility information, you essentially try to model so that this black line matches the black dots as much as possible. As you can see, the difference between this more final model with our previous model includes the error being much more leveled around 0 and our black line peaks being a lot closer to the black dots than before when we initially brought in our information. You'll also notice that I have these wells displayed in this section, and these wells are actually LAS wells or well logs that we were able to import. These wells do not get incorporated into the actual calculation of the response, however you can use them as base marks to be able to move your layers. As you can see, if we zoom into this area, we can see that this well indicates that the toric layer should hit about here, and similarly with the rest of the layers. And so we use these as placeholders for us to incorporate in our model. As well, you can also manage them through your Manage Well logs, where you're able to take a look at all the different wells that you've got and even bring in new well log information. Once you've got your section nicely labeled and you ensure that all your horizons are also labeled, you can go into your Managed Horizon tool and export your horizons as an XYZ file. You can later on import this into your OASIS montage environment. Working with OASIS montage, you can then actually create these profile sections that have your well log information, your sections, and you can even bring in your profiles and your horizons into profile format. So you can then integrate your GeoSys 2D sections into OASIS montage environment. You can also clone your sections in GeoSys 2D if you've got two sections that are close together and you'd like to clone your model in order to generate the same type of geology in another line over and then edit that as a starting point. For more information on GeoSys Profile or Geosoft's other modeling software, please visit our website where you'll find additional videos and product information, or email us. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed the video.